Greetings everyone, and welcome to another installment of the cooking classes, and this time we are in real time in a holiday. Well, it's a secular holiday, even though it was adopted religiously. And when I say religiously, it means that we added some prayers for the first time in many hundreds of years that anything was changed to the prayer book. And the change is that we accept the ultra-Orthodox people, very ultra-Orthodox people, the anti-Zionist people, we add the Hallel. This is how big it is for that miracle that we have a country. So we celebrate it with Yom Ha'Atzmaut. It's like a big festivity. But the big festivity comes right after very long day, and this is the Memorial Day. Now, this is a Memorial Day. Now, when I came to this country in 1998, my first Memorial Day, I thought it's a very serious and sad day until I saw all the advertisements for all the sales, and it's something completely different. And I think the reason for this is that in Israel, in every Jewish household, you'll find somebody that is either mourning, a family member, or a very close friend. I know myself, I lost few friends in the military. Hadas and know the friends that lost their lives, and every year and that day I remember that. And in order to make people remember that more even, they set the sirens like in Yom HaShoah and Yom Ha'Atzmaut too. It's not new, but it didn't start right from the beginning of the state of Israel. If we'll have time, I'll talk about it later. But the contrast from the very solemn and sad day to the festivity is like that. And the reason it wasn't together originally, but they decided to put the two things together, I think, just as a gravitas for what it is. So don't take for granted the fact that we have this country. Yeah, we have to remember just very close to that how sad it is. So at this time, I would like to ask Michelle to to show a link from YouTube that shows what happens in Israel when the sirens come on. So it comes off at night for 1 minute and during the day for 2 minutes. And when that happens, everybody drops everything and they just stand still. And this is the closest thing actually to the wax museum. Really, everything stands still. So to you, Michelle. That's it. Okay, you don't need to rise. This is part of the video. So this is the Machane Yehuda market. See, this is not frozen picture. Everybody stands still. Great. And now, in a huge contrast, what happened? Probably at the Kotel, the Western Wall, at the Kotel Amaravi. This is one celebration that we have there. People go and dance. But that happens. This is so big. I just discovered this video. But we used to go to the streets and just dance and noise and getting silly and happy. Michelle, you have the second one? Michelle? Oh. There it is. Yeah. Yeah, what's going on there? Thank you, Michelle. Good. So you can see how big is the contrast between this one and this one. And the day that was chosen for Yom Ha'Atzmaut was the 5th of Iyar. However, if you look at the Hebrew calendar, you'll see that today is not the 5th of Iyar. Today is the 3rd. 5th of Iyar is going to be Friday. So obviously you cannot do a Memorial Day on Friday night and on Shabbat. You're supposed to be very happy on Shabbat. Nothing at all comes more than Shabbat. So Shabbat is a day to be happy. So when the dates clashes with the Shabbat, then you move it. And therefore they brought it 2 days earlier. So Yom Ha'Atzmaut was today and not tomorrow. And what happened on the day of Yom Ha'Atzmaut, right after all the parties at night, then everybody go out. So I remember from my childhood, my parents will take me and my uncles and we'll go to a place and we'll just do meat. They will eat meat. They will put a portable barbecue, just a box with some coals, charcoals, and put all kinds of meats. And this, everybody does it. So huge amounts of meat go in Israel. Everything is about meat and celebration because meat in Judaism is a sign for a celebration. So we are going to do 3 things today. The meat that we are going to do are, even though very popular in Israel now and everybody makes it, it's relatively new. So this is a modern, both of these are very modern dishes, but very, very, very popular. The first one that we are going to do, actually we are going to prep both of the 2 dishes together. So right here, I have ground beef. I have a whole 1 pound, 2 pounds, 2 pounds of beef. That's a lot because we will eat and we'll have some to eat tomorrow too, and maybe the next day too, even for Shabbat. But you can do just 1 pound. And to that, we add some things to make it a little bit airy because we are making like a kebab. If you just take a ground beef and kvetch it, it's going to lose all the moisture from the inside and then it will dry and you need to make it a little lively. So in it, we are going to put some onions. So we'll take a white onion. I'll take I'll throw it in the garden sink. So as always, we cut the onion. We don't need to cut it very thin because we are going to put it right in the food process. Obviously, you can chop it by hand, but you know, in my household, if they see a piece of an onion, some of them are starting to yell and get upset. So I'm going to take this onion, peel it. Now, these recipes are very, very easy. And they have a wow effect in them. When I say wow, it's not the flavor. I think they're delicious, but the wow effect is the way that they look. So here we have the onion. We cut it into maybe quarters, something like that. It's enough. I'll hit another one like that. And I'm going to put it into the food processor. And to that, I will add some parsley. Now, this is an American parsley, and the only reason I have American parsley is because I couldn't find the regular parsley, which a little bit I prefer. You can put it, for this one, you can put it with the stem, but this is a very big stem. I don't like this one. So I'm going to put, let's say, 1 pepper. Well, I'm doing double the amount because I'm making more, but I'm going to put this. Now this is a lot of green, but it's important and it adds a mild flavor, which is very, very good. So I put it like that. And we want now, another thing that we want to add is a tomato. And the reason for the tomato is just to add a little bit more moisture, because remember, once you heat the meat, it shrinks and the moisture usually escapes. So we want to add a little bit more moisture. So I added the onion, I added the tomato, and therefore I have some moisture inside, more moisture. And don't forget the greens also add moisture. Now what we have to do, the only thing that is left is just to set it, and I like to do it like this. So and by the way, if you like blenders and things, if you put on YouTube, Will It Blend, you will see a commercial for one of the blenders that he decided to show how powerful is this blender. So he has a series of many, many videos. He's throwing inside the blender an iPhone, Nike shoes, all kinds of things. It's very funny to see what happens if you put an iPhone into a blender. Okay. This is the consistency that we want. You see, not we don't want just completely something that is liquid. We don't want a puree. We want to have the pieces. You know what? There are some bigger pieces. I'm going to put them in, and I will shoot it again. Just a little bit more, because there are some bigger pieces. Now, I would suggest for those of you who want to make it today or now, just turn on your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So this is the mixture, and this is how it looks. This is a big one. I'll throw it out. Now, this is the ground beef. I guess we can take away. Yeah. So here we have the ground beef. But now, the brownish thing that you see in the middle is perfectly fine. Outside, sometimes inside oxidized. So I'm going to add all of this in. Like that. It doesn't like that I open the drawers, but I have to get something to forgive me. Okay, so we are going to add this to the mixture. You see, until now it's very easy. Everyone have to agree. Now, salt and pepper is something that is usually in recipes. They say salt and pepper to taste. So if you're not used to cook a lot and you are not sure about how much salt to put in this, you have to remember there are 2 types of salt that are used in recipes. The kosher salt, which actually is better because it dissolves better and it adheres to the food better and absorbed by the food better, and the table salt. I'm going to use for that purpose the table salt because that's what most people get. But when you use table salt, it's more concentrated than kosher salt. The reason is kosher salt, the flakes are larger. So if you use a teaspoon of kosher salt, you have less. So the rule of thumb now, I can say that for a pound of ground beef, you want to add the minimum is a half a teaspoon of kosher salt or a quarter teaspoon of salt, but that's really the absolute minimum. Or 3/4 of a teaspoon of kosher salt and half a teaspoon of salt, which is usually what I would suggest. But use a half a teaspoon of regular salt per pound. It will not be too salty. Obviously, I am using less because when you use kosher meat, it's already salted because this is part of the koshering. So you put 1/4 of it. Instead of half a teaspoon, put 1/4. Okay, so now the mixture, you see, can you show them? Here it is. Here's the mixture. See how it looks? It looks nice. It's very, very flavorful. Now, one thing I forgot to add, which is very important always, is pepper. So the same thing, I would put for half a teaspoon, half a pound of, for 1 pound of meat, use a quarter teaspoon of pepper, or even a little bit less. I'm using it approximate. But that's what you want to do. That's it. And we mix it very nicely. Now, what I'm going to add also to that is pine nuts, because pine nuts and this dish goes fantastically well together. So for that, as you remember, I think we did it before, we're going to do some pine nuts here. So we turn on the heat and we want to roast those. And the main reason roasting nuts is because to remove the moisture that make it like soggy and gives it a little bit. So, you know, with your eye, as much as you want. You add this, you put it on a heat. I'm adding a little bit of olive oil. Okay, so I'm getting, that's it. Okay, so we mix it, and I'm not going to put it on the whole thing. And the reason is not everyone likes pine nuts. Lily likes pine nuts, but Daniel doesn't like. But so you can make both. I'm going to put it in one. We put it like this. We give it a little bit of a stir, and I'm going to visit it in a minute or two because we don't want to char it. Once we char it, once it becomes very, very, very big. Another word that I wanted to mention is that normally this dish is ideal on the barbecue. So you should heat up your barbie and put it on the barbecue. It's much, much, much better taste. But if not, we are going to use a different solution. You know, it's raining outside, so we're not going to use it. So we put salt, we put pepper, and traditionally you add cumin. Not everyone likes cumin. But we do, we'll put a little bit of cumin. I would say if you put cumin, put a quarter teaspoon in 1 pound. Just like it. Now, I saw here a chunk of the cumin. You can die from it. I mean, not physically, but it's too powerful. And we want to mix it again. Mix this, and I'm going to hit this and just fold it, you know, break it like this. See? And this is going to serve me for the 2 meat dishes. We are going to use the same thing. That's it. We have it. So if you were here and you could hold it, you'd see this is much lighter and fluffier than just a piece of ground beef. This has so much in it that makes it not as much in terms of flavor from the greens that we added and the onions that disappears. It just adds fluffiness to the whole thing. That's why we want to use it. And to half of it, we will add the pine nuts. Let's see what is the pine nuts. So we are looking what we have here. So you see they are sweating also a little bit. Now, Adas doesn't add oil to the pine nuts, and really you don't need to add the oil to the pine nuts because the pine nuts are so fatty that once you put them on the skillet, they will never stick, no matter where you put them. I like to add because I like maybe the olive oil flavor a little bit with it, and also it releases flavor from the pine nuts into the oil. But again, if you do it, you don't need to add more than a teaspoon to that at all. Now, another word by the time until it gets ready about the ceremony that they do in the Memorial Day. So at the end of the Memorial Day, just before Yom Ha'Atzmaut starts, there is a big ceremony in Har Herzl Cemetery in Jerusalem, which is the main cemetery, the only cemetery for soldiers and all the leaders of the country. So it's called Mount Herzl because the first one probably was Herzl, or this was what made it like the official cemetery. And in that, every year, they have a ceremony that they light 12 torches. And these 12 torches are lit by people that were chosen through a nominating committee, like we have nominating committee in Pioneer Jewish Center for the board. They have a nominating committee who will light the torch. Now, what is the criteria? So every year, since the beginning, I think the first one was in 1949, I'm not sure, they find a new thing. So one year it was science, so the 12 most important people in science. And then they had education, and then they had from the military, and then they had volunteerism. So think about it, for so many years, every year it was something completely different. This year I saw, I don't know what he did, but it was a man 102 years old that, I didn't read the whole article, but he was special and 102 years old. So this is the thing that they do in Mount Herzl, and there is usually a big celebration and a program with dancing. And again, if you are interested to see those things, just go to YouTube and put Yom Ha'Zikaron ceremony, Israel, and then you will see some of them are long, right? Because the whole ceremony take an hour and a half or even more. And then at the end, they do fireworks. Now, I was a little bit embarrassed for Israel when I came and I saw the first fireworks here in monthly, which is 3 times, if not 4 times more impressive than what the official one in Israel. But it is what it is. By the way, good news from Israel. Israel declared from Sunday, officially, the citizens of Israel don't have to wear masks outside. Now, this is a big thing because even here, even though here people walk with masks outside, it's not a rule. You're not going to get a ticket or even arrested if you insist by not putting a mask outside. But in Israel, people had to wear masks. Even until now, that most of the people are vaccinated, wear masks outside. And if you don't, they give you a ticket. And I saw a few very upsetting movie clips of people that were arrested because they refused to put the mask. I don't know why, but from Sunday, that's it. So that's a very good news for the Israelis. My brother is very happy about it. So you can look at these pine nuts. Now it's getting very close. You have to remember when you do pine nuts, first of all, that the smell is unbelievably good. It's amazing smell. But the second thing is that from, like in many things in life, from the best to the worst, it's a blink like that. So just before it gets horribly bitter, this is when it's the best at its flavor. And to know it, Adas, can you get the close-up? Okay, so if you look at it, you see the color, they get brown, that's it. And now I have to immediately take them out because if they're hot, they continue to be done. So I'm going to take another vessel.
Maybe another 2 maybe on.
Right.
Yeah, because
these are
we need some without.
So I'm going to take some. This will be, I will put this for the kebab, and this will be without. This will be with the pine nuts, right? Because we don't put the pine nuts in the rice, so that's enough. This is with the pine nuts.
Yeah.
Put a little more. This is with the pine nuts.
Okay.
So you see, the ratio is a way more than what we need. We don't need that much. We're going to put, if you see the amount that is inside, I would say you have there maybe a 1/4 pound, maybe a little bit more.
You can put it all.
But it will not hold it.
It will.
All of this?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is going to be very, very nutty. Right. So if they,
yeah.
If they fold it. So I'm going to add all of these and mix them in. Now again, because there is no adhesive here, some of them will fall out. And if they fall out, it's not a big deal. Okay, so this I'm going to use. You know what? Let's do it now. Already. Let's start with those. So you probably have those. If you don't, let me know. I will get you some. And these are cinnamon sticks. And it smells like a cinnamon perfume. If you like cinnamon, that's the dish for you. If you don't, then not. So I'm going to add this here. Sometimes they refuse to go out. I can manage.
They get stuck.
They get stuck, especially at the beginning. But we're going to take them out.
I think that you have enough in there.
Okay. I'm taking this. And what you do, I usually like to wet my hands a little bit so it can stick less. So I'm just wetting my hands like that a little bit. And I'm taking one stick like that. And I'm taking maybe this amount. Okay, you see, just make a ball like that. You stick it in the middle like that, and you just shake it like that. You see? That's it. And it's there. And you put it on a plate. So let me take the plate. I know. Okay. So I'm going to put it on the side like that. So they are here together. Take another one with pine nuts. And you're right, it wasn't too much pine nuts. It was perfectly fine. Putting it in the middle, look how quickly it goes. And this is ready. Number 2. Going to take number 3. Take it like that. We take one stick. This is like a fancy big stick. Fancy, or actually not only fancy, it's a fancy schmancy one. Look, it looks like this. It has a shape. And you see it holds. And especially after it cooks, it's going to hold very well. And when you eat it, it's really great because you feel a little bit of cinnamon. It's really not overwhelming at all. It's just a hint of cinnamon. Now this one I could actually break. You see it's big. I could break it and make 2 out of it. But never mind. It's not an expensive product. And we can do that. Wait, so I have this. Make another one only of these. And make regular ones. And then we will move to the next one, which is really cool. Anyone who likes sushi would appreciate the next one. Okay, so we leave these. Let's make few without. Take it like this, put it like this, put it like this. Take a second. That's it. See how quickly? This, look how quickly it is. And how nice it is. Looks like lamb chops. See, I'm making more. And I will not make many more because we want to move on. It's only that I'm enjoying doing this. That's why I'm doing it more and more and more and more. So I'm putting it like this. Let's add another 2 maybe. Take it like this. Stick it like that. Okay. This one, look. Some of them have nice shapes, see? Another one, and let's take another one, and that's it. Last one, I promise. So we stick it like that, and we put it aside. Let's make another one. It's really fun. And I'm already in the Yom Ha'Atzmaut mood. I was sad enough today. And now I'm very happy. It's not as easy as it is to jump from big joy to sadness, but I think this is the way of life. And I think it's a good thing to be able to know that there is no joy without a little bit of sorrow. And as I always say, sweet and sour, it's not only a Chinese recipe. Okay, so these are ready, and I'm putting them aside. Now I'm going to wash my hands and we're going to move to part 2. Okay, so now I'm going to So now for the second dish, we are going to make the arais. So what is an arais? Arais started in Israel in a way that they took a pita bread, open it in the middle, just fill, and you can do it at home too, just fill the half pita with ground beef, a mixture like this, or any mixture of your choice, even just ground beef, and then you put a little bit, brush a little bit oil on the half pita filled with the meat, and you put it on the barbecue, and the pita gets very crispy, and inside you have the meat. The problem is that the pitas here in America are very dry compared to the pitas in Israel, so you do have to get the Israeli pita to make it well here. However, what we have plenty in America is tortillas. And the tortillas come with a recipe that actually is a much better one than the one with the pita. So what do we do with that? So you need to get tortillas. And I'm going to take a few of these. Now, I have to be honest with you. So I have to be honest with you. There is the regular way to make the rice roll, which I'm going to do. But I always think, and I tried, I want to do it a little bit different and maybe give another idea to make it even better, maybe. And we're going to try this for the first time. I say against Hadass's advice, because Hadass says always, you always want to go with safe. So, I guess that you are close enough to me that you know that even if I screw up, you'll not be very upset with me. So we cut it like this here because we want kind of a square. And we cut this, and it's a little bit difficult to make it perfectly square. And here we have one. Not perfectly straight, but we have one. So we want kind of almost a square. Even if we don't, it will work, but it will not be, the size will not be as nice. So I'm taking another one. Again, we cut it into two. We want to square the edges. Cut it like this, and we cut it like this, and we make another one. Because I'm going to do two experiments and one the way it is. So you're going to leave out of here with the successful recipe, at least one. The one that I didn't try to change. But, without trying, there is never, some people say it's try or cry. Okay, so again, this is the nicest one. So, we'll see about the other one. So what do we do with that? So, the basic rice roll is that you take this square and you lay in the middle some of the ground beef, like that, okay, right here. You fetch it, you put it like that, okay, a little bit more, here, you put it like that, okay, and what you do, take it like this. I'll take a little bit more even, why not? And we do this, okay? Just roll it very simply. And another one like this, push it on the side, and this is ready. Now, what we do, we cut these into stripes, okay? We want it to be as tight as possible. So it will hold. And then we cut stripes or strips or stripes. Stripes or strips? Stripes. Let's call it stripes. And now we cut them. So I cut one, I cut two. If you don't have an extremely sharp knife, then use a serrated knife. And now we take a skewer. You see those? They are nice like that, like sushi rolls. So you take them like this. You put them like that. Okay, they should be the same height, and I didn't. My forgiveness. We take them like that, and we take the skewer. I think I can add another. I can put all of them. Okay, like that.
Maybe put them on two.
Maybe they will.
No, I think it will be better.
Yeah, so I'll put it like this. So now what I do, I take this from here and I stick it all the way. See, another one, another one. I want to see on the other side. You see, I'm hitting it right, but you can check it if you're not sure. Another one, another one, another one. And you can move them, you can play with them. I would say you can leave a little bit in between one to another to make it, to get them the mid, to get in the in between, to get it some heat. So in this case, I'm not going to add another one. I'm going to leave it as it is because I want to leave there. So this is the rice roll. And this, as is, you can put on the barbecue for 2 minutes on each side, something like that, and then it's ready. And you peel them out and you put in your mouth. It's delicious. The more meat you put, this is braised as it is.
Just brush with olive oil.
You just brush with
yeah.
olive. Yes. Otherwise, it can stick. Now, what I'm going to there is another one. The other one is a double roll. So what does it mean, a double roll? First, we put meat, but we put meat on the whole thing. We spread it like this as much as we can, like when you do with sushi. I don't know if I have enough for my adventures, but we'll see. Okay, so we spread it like this as much as we can. And you know, we can make a thin one because we are going to do 2 layers. So we put one layer like this, thin. And on top of that, we put another one. You know what, so let me cut the corners. Okay. Like that. Okay, and another one. It's like taper and it's it works very well. We put it on top like that, see? And we put another layer. And this one we roll in a different way. Okay, so this is going to be also a thicker one, a fatter one. Put it like this. Now, by the way, you can obviously use lamb meat, you can use chicken, you can do whatever you want, but for this type of dish, you need a little bit of a fat. So chicken is not the best thing for that one. I think that this is enough because I need it for my experiment. Okay, so this is the second one. Okay, we take it like this. We want to go all the way to the end so we don't lose the ones on the sides. And what do we do with that? Well, we just roll it. Like that. See? You just roll it, but you want to roll it tight. And you see, this is a Godzilla roll. Very, very big one. Okay? And the same rule applies. We cut it into strips. Okay? Cut them. And we don't want them too thick. And definitely we want consistency on the thickness because you want them all to be ready at the same time. And another one. And this one is a big one. I don't think I can make 2 out of this. It will be a bigger one and it will be medium. Okay, so now I'm putting them on the sides like that. So this is, okay, and like that. We put them one next to another, like that. And I'm not going to do all of them. I'm going to do some of them. Okay, look how nice they look. This is pre-cooking. You see, I would not put more than 4 on a skewer. So I take it like that, and the same rule applies. You heat it all the way through. And this is going to hold it. Yeah, that's it. See? This is the second one. Now the third one, complete experiment. No guarantees whatsoever. So for that one, we take one. And let's see here. So my idea was that this is meat and bread. It can be a little bit, no, it's very juicy and delicious, but you know, potatoes and meat goes very well together. So I said, what about if we put a layer of meat and on top of that, we put a layer of mashed potato. So where's my mashed potato? I put it here. So what is a mashed potato that you use? It's simple as can be. You just take one potato, big like Idaho potato, you put it in a plastic bag like the one from ShopRite. You make 2 or 3 holes and you put it in the microwave for 6 minutes, 5, 6, until it's softened, and then you peel it. And then you mash it with this, like you do, everyone knows. So I'm going to, it's either to put the meat first or this first. Let's put the meat first. So I'm going to put the meat and see what happens. I mean, what the worst that can be. So I'm going to spread it evenly as much as I can. I don't have too much left. And this is, mind you, 2 pounds of meat. Okay, so we don't have a lot of meat here because I was very, very generous before, but I can still push it. See, I can still push it all the way. Like that, as much as I can. And yeah, I have to quicken it here a little bit. So I'm putting it like that all the way to the side. And now I'm going to take the potatoes and just try to mash it and to kvetch it and to put it as much as I can, spread it. I don't have a lot of time now. I would probably put more attention to details if I did it and I had more time, but I'm just going to run it like this. My thought is that you'll have a layer, you'll have like a sandwich between potato and meat, and this may be better. I don't know, we'll try and see what happens. It's all about life, trial and error, as long as you don't risk anything. So I'm taking it like this, and now the other way that you could do it, if it works, you can just put the ground beef in the middle, and then inside to put the potatoes, and then roll it like we did before. So I'm going to do it like a rollada. Okay? And you see, it works. And I say, why not? Okay, so this is ready. I'm going to cut a few sleeves, put them on a skewer, don't worry about the next layer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a skewer, that's going to give me a skewer. So you see, it looks different. And what it will do, you see, I like the look of it, don't you, Adas?
Yeah, it's cool.
So actually, this will add even more airiness to this dish, because you have built-in. And if it works, then I have the rights. That's it. And I didn't try it before. So what we want to do now, we want to brush them with some olive oil, and then the brush. I know it does.
That's okay.
Okay, so the brush. I find the brush. If I don't find it, here's the brush. So I'm taking the brush, and this is some olive oil, and okay, a little bit olive oil for brushing. We put it like this, and we just brush it like that. See? So it doesn't stick. And especially on the one with the potato, because the potatoes have 0 fat in them. I didn't put any oil in the potatoes. It's just this. So we put it like that. We turn it over, turn this over, turn this over, put another layer, and put them in the oven. So the idea, you can really put it on a tray in the oven, but the bottom side, it's going to get the heat. You definitely will have to flip it because one side will be more exposed than the other. What I bought from Costco, and maybe they have it, is something, let me see, let's put this here for now. So what I have, we have that. Sorry, so what we do, see this is like something that you can put even on the oven. So, so I'm putting them like this. This I didn't brush with oil. Look how nice. Can you hear it? I hope you can hear it because it has an amazing sound.
Sizzling.
Sizzling, because I preheated it. That's the way to go. Okay, now I'm going to bring the other. Take this one and put it here. And take this one and put it here, like that. And this one I'm going to put here. And I have room for another 2. Let's throw these in. And we close this thing. And I would put it for like 10 minutes. Maybe in 7 minutes we will close? Yeah, good. So now obviously Israelis are
What temp? Can I ask what temperature is the oven?
400 degrees. And you want to preheat it. And again, it's better to put it on something hot, but ideally you want to do it on the grill. So for this salad, this is really green. Now, the thing about greens, that some of the greens have some bitterness, natural bitterness, as you know. And what contradict bitterness and cancel bitterness is actually sour. So therefore, we use more than normal than we use lemon in a regular salad that we make, only because that part of it has to go to contradict the bitterness. So what we want to do, first of all, we don't want meat in this one. We don't need it. I'm going to do a quick rinse. And we want to chop. So obviously this is pre-washed. This is the parsley. So I would say the good ratio is 1:1 with the parsley and the cilantro. And if you don't like cilantro, then don't use cilantro. If you don't like parsley,
Cilantro.
You use whatever you like. This is what you use. Okay, so we chop it as much as we can. Let's put these. You know, it's just a mixture. Because of rushness, I'm going to do it. Now I'm going to take out all of these. You can use the stems, but only if you really chop them. And I didn't chop them very well, but I'll add more. So I'm going to add the parsley. Okay, so what is ready? I'm going to put already here, right? If you hold it in one hand, that's
Yeah.
So I'm going to take before all the big stems, because I'm not going to chop it that small as I normally do. So I'm going to remove the big stems, because you know it's too brutal to throw this. I should have done it before, but that's what we have. There are so many stems. It's funny. Okay, here's what it is. Takes a little bit more. One way to do it is just to pull it like this, and then you get only the leaves. Okay, put a little bit of that here, a little bit more. You know, again, this doesn't have to be precise, but it has to be chopped nicely. So now, before somebody asks me, yeah, you can use the food processor, but be careful not to make a big mess and to make it puree. You don't want it puree, you want it chopped. So if you use it in the food processor, use a small amounts. Okay. This is a very powerful salad. Now, for those who really greens, I'm not a green fan in general, maybe because my mother put so much greens in everything. And children, you know, like spinach, it's not popular with most children. Try to give children cilantro or parsley. So this was even worse. I didn't like this, but and I like this salad. But if you want to make it even friendlier for people who don't like the greens, what you can use is use cranberries and throw them in. So for just ratio-wise, for this amount, yeah, you should use maybe as much as you want. Then we go to green. Another green is this. So I would say for an amount like that, you use maybe 3 of those. Green onion, scallions. And you want to cut it as small as you can. As small as you can, because this is a powerful green, and not everyone is used to it. So I chop it nicely. And actually, I'll add another one. So this dish is really with your preference. If you like green, if you like scallions, you put more. If you don't, you use less. Not more than that, because you don't want it too hot and spicy. Now, the other thing that you want to add for the contrast of flavor and to bring the flavors out is onion. But we want to use a red onion because it's more mellow. Or if you don't have a red onion, the white onion will do also very nicely. So we peel this, take this out, try while you're good, because we want to check on the kebab. And I would say for this amount, I would use, if you like onions, half. I would use a quarter.
A quarter, yeah.
Yeah, I would use a quarter. And again, we want to chop it as small as we can. The onions, for sure. The onions need to be chopped as small as we can. Okay, so because we have that, this we really want to chop. Okay, and this one, by all means, you can use the food processor. But remember, if you use the food processor, don't get to make it juice. You really want to make it that it will be crispy and that you'll feel the flavor. Because if you really make it the juice, it will be overwhelming. Now, if you see what I have here, the amount, I said quarter, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a quarter of an onion. And even this is a little bit too much, I think. So I will use a little bit less. That's it. You know what? We like it more. After that, we want to add some celery. And celery adds a lot of flavor and nothing of the nastiness of the onion. So again, we want to cut it as small as we can. And if you want, you can use the leaves too. This, cut it. And this adds a lot of flavor. The celery, this is a very juicy salad. Don't look at it as a concentrated dish. It's very juicy and very delicious. And again, this comes from somebody who doesn't like salads that much. Right, Adas?
Yeah, and also our kids like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we cut it small, especially if there are people who don't like greens so much or they complain about things. Then you make it small like that, and then it's fine. So this is the amount that I'm going to add. So these are the dry things. Before that, I'm going to take a quick peek at this, because I'm going to turn them over. Wow, look at that. We don't have a, okay, I don't have a,
You want me to?
something to hold them. No,
It's not, it's medium.
No, so I have to, it's too hot. No, it's not. And actually, they're fine. Why? Look at these. Wow. Wait. Do that. We turn this over. We turn this one over. Yeah. Look, this is with the potatoes. Why?
And on the
Okay.
the back.
I don't think we have to feed them. No, it gets a lot of heat from the bottom.
Okay.
All right. So we have that, and now the lemon. So now is the tricky part, because everyone have their own what they like. So I would say for amount like this, I would use maybe 2 tablespoons. You want to be generous. That's it. And then we added the cranberries already. Oh, now originally we use mint leaves. Actually, the nana in Israel is different than the mint leaves that we have here. It's much better, the nana green. But I couldn't find one, so I'm going to do something against the Mediterranean, the Israeli cuisine, and I'm going to use basil. Because why not? But it's not a tradition, but it has nothing to do with tradition. I spoke about it with my brother. He does this salad all the time, and he says, yeah, why not? Because I couldn't find it and I freaked out. But you don't want to put a lot of it, because it's very, very dominant. You see, so that's it, what I'm adding. Now, if you like cucumbers, you can add cucumbers, but make them very, very small. And this will tame the whole thing up too. And for that amount, I'm going to use maybe a quarter teaspoon of salt. So I did bring the salt, quarter teaspoon, half a teaspoon, quarter teaspoon, but I don't have a quarter, so I'll put like kind of. That's it. There. And now I'm going to add the lemon. The lemon is the important thing. Lemon, I would, even without thinking, put a whole lemon here, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to put half and taste it. But I think it will take more than half. Like that. And I mean the other way.
No, it's fine.
This way?
No, you put it here.
I know. Now you see who is using it more. And I'm going to quetch it like that. And let's see how much lemon this is. I would put more lemon. Not a whole lemon, but more lemon. And obviously a little bit of pepper. Not much, but pepper is always good. Where is the pepper?
Oh, over there.
Over there. Okay, so pepper a little bit. And again, you don't have to, but you can add. And then you mix it. Sorry again, that's a good one. And we mix it. See how nice it is? Now I can already see that this thing will benefit from a little bit more oil because you see it's not shiny at all. So we can add a little bit. This is olive oil, it's healthy. We add it like that. And we put it on. So you see how nice it is? Now it does look like concentrated food, but it's very, very good. I'm going to taste, and that's it. We will decide what we need to add, okay? This one is for you.
Thank you.
And this one is for me. I don't have a clue how it's going to be.
Delicious.
I know what I'm missing. Oh, this is ready. It's definitely ready.
Yeah.
So, what is missing? Okay. What is missing is crispiness to the salad. And what do we do with it? Okay.
Okay, so I'll get you a plate. Don't take.
No.
Yeah, just hold the camera.
I'll hold the camera. Ardas is more expert on doing things in the oven. So, yeah. So Ardas is taking it out. It's a little bit tricky because it's hot. And there is a lot of juices in it. Let me. Yeah, you can take them one by one. That's what we'll do.
But it's so oily.
Okay. So you see? That's it.
Yeah,
And this, but we have to take them out the tray anyway. Okay. I have to take this one out. I'm so excited.
Okay, I'm not taking this out yet because we'll.
No, but they will dry completely in the oven.
No.
Okay, so you see there are more inside. We want to take them out, otherwise they will dry out. We don't want that.
Okay, so
Yeah, take the whole thing. Be careful with your hand. It's boiling hot. Yeah. Okay. Now you see all the oils came to the side, and if you have a barbecue, it's going to go to the outside. But look how nice it is. Look at this. And everyone takes one. So this is the one with this is the double roll. This is the regular roll that you have like a meat wrapped with tortilla. And this one has everything. It has the potato and the meat in it. And you can play with the ratio, and I'm glad that it was successful. But I'm not sure, we have to taste it first. Okay, so now something is missing in this salad. Okay, and one thing is missing in this salad to make it perfect. And this is to add some nuts. And the reason is the nuts add some crispiness to it, which is really, really adds a lot. The moment I took the bite, I noticed that it's missing. So you definitely want to add like pecan or whatever
Or almonds.
Almonds,
Yeah.
pecan is even more powerful. Or what's the name of the round one? They look like brain. The nut that looks like brain.
Walnut.
Walnut, yes.
You can add cheese if it's not
Yes.
meat,
Yeah.
like feta cheese or goat
Goat
cheese.
cheese, if it's that's the thing. Right? So
Yeah.
that's how it is. And again, this is concentrated, but very, very, very delicious. Very delicious. And you try, as I said, you know, for this amount, you will need one whole lemon. So this is done, and this is done. And again, we are done exactly at 8. Okay. And now we are ready for questions. Questions?
I do have a question.
Yes.
Hi. If I grill it, the skewers, should they be metal
No, wooden works perfectly well.
on the grill, on the
Yep.
outside grill?
Yep.
Not
Yep.
metal.
It's meant for that. Okay.
What's the
One second. Let me
the
reverse
total,
the camera for both of them.
the total baking time and I guess the total grilling time, both of those questions?
Yeah, a few minutes. You see, this is, I would say if you prepared your grill before and it's hot, 3 minutes on each side and you flip it, and that's plenty. 6 minutes is way more than you need. And definitely on the thin ones, it gets very, very quickly ready. You can always put it back. No questions? About Yom Ha'Atzmaut?
People can just unmute if they want to ask a question or?
Yeah,
Cantor.
please. Yes.
Cantor, when you made the mixture of the meat and the, what else went in there?
The meat and whatever.
Whatever.
Did you put any spices in there at all?
Right. So there was a lot of whatever, but no spices. So the tradition is really, for meat, salt and pepper is really all you need because meat has such a mild flavor. I'm against putting a lot of flavoring when you do meats, dishes. And the reason is the meat is so delicate that once you heat it with many spices, then it's not exactly a meat anymore. So this one, just you can put salt and pepper and you're the king.
We added a little bit of cumin too.
Did we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not.
But that's because we
yeah.
like cumin.
Yeah.
So you took the meat, onions, parsley, and tomato.
Right. And the parsley and the onion and the tomato, we chop ahead of time in the food process.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
And you can make it fine. And this will add to the fluffiness.
I like fluffiness.
Everybody likes
That's
that.
why he likes me. That's why he likes me.
Yes. So just remember that if you can put it on the grill, it's better. If not, this has enough power and strength in the wow factor of the looks and the flavor that you can put it in the oven and it's going to be delicious. Just don't overdo it. So it's you saw when I put it, it was in the oven for what, 10 minutes the most, right?
Yeah.
Less, yeah. 10 minutes and it's even overdone, maybe, but maybe not. Maybe yes.
Have you ever tried it with ground turkey?
Oh, no. Ground turkey is actually fatty. So you can, if you like ground turkey, by all means use it. I would use, because ground turkey has a very, very strong flavor, mix it. Do half turkey and half beef. Or you use a mixture that, because it really, if it doesn't have the fat in it, it's going to be dry and not flavorful at all. And you want the juiciness. Again, if you're using the roll that I did, the double roll, not the double roll, the one with the potato, you can get away with leaner meat because you have some of the potato that absorbs it and absorb the juices that are going to escape. But other than that, I would use at least 15% fat, which is normally 20%.
A question about, can you eat the cinnamon stick?
No, it's hard as a rock, but you can lick it. I like to lick it. Yeah, and it's great. You know, I didn't even think about if you can even reuse it. I don't see a reason not. You know, put it in a dishwasher. No, I'm kidding, not dishwasher. But I don't see a. it has such a strong flavor in it. But it doesn't make the whole thing too cinnamony. So it's not like you spread cinnamon on the ground beef. It just takes some aroma, and also the whole place smells from mild cinnamon. Great. So what I
Wait,
suggest,
one more question. Can you
Yeah.
put the meat on the skewer? I guess not the rolls instead of a cinnamon stick, I think maybe is what they're asking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
you can use it,
yeah.
you can make like regular
Yeah,
kebabs,
absolutely. So
without-
if one likes kebab, just simple kebab, you can take those skewers, wooden skewers, take this paste and just put it through this skewer. I should have shown that you can do it like that. This is a
even
regular.
without, like make patties.
Right, that's a traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah, traditionally they make one long one. So if you want to make it on the skewer, you just take the meat and just put it around, or you make like a long, by hand, you create like a big sausage, kind of, and then inside you heat the skewer and kvetch it with your hands, so the meat surround exactly what I did with the cinnamon, but it's very thin, so it's easier with the skewer. So you make long strips of meat around the skewer. Very delicious.
I think when the new kitchen is done, we have to, and we have a meat kitchen, we have to have this class in person, also when COVID is done.
Yeah, for sure.
For
We
sure.
should barbecue outside. after that.
Barbecue.
Oh,
Yes.
barbecue outside at the temple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
For
Yeah.
Yom Ha'Atzmaut, we should
yeah.
do it. Yeah.
Next year.
Next
Yeah.
year.
Leshana Haba in
Leshana Haba.
Pinebrook.
Right,
Right. That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Yeah.
right. Yes, great. So if I'm both of us, right? We are very thankful for you being here with us, celebrating with us Yom Ha'atzmaut. Hopefully one day you'll go to Israel on Yom Ha'atzmaut and see the whole thing. Don't expect the biggest show of fireworks, but it will be moving with spirit and not with material.
That's what counts.
Exactly.
Thank you guys as always, really, it was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye and Shabbat Shalom. It's coming.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom, Laila
Thank
Tov.
you.
Bye bye.
Everybody.
Bye. Thank you, Cantor. Bye.
Pleasure.
Bye.